Hey there, my name is Jonathan and I run my own automation agency. And with that, I build a lot of different automations out with a lot of different no code to low code automation tools. And today I want to show you one that I think is really awesome that I personally spent a little time getting to know. And the functionality is incredible. And so I know you've got your classic no code automation building tools like Zapier and Make. But MindCloud comes in with a lot of functionality that those platforms just don't have. And so with that, MindCloud is just like those platforms in terms of like data mapping and having things pull through dynamically. And so we're not going to touch on, I guess, the basics of how to build out the automation, but just walking you through in this automation that I built out for a client, what some of the key features are that I really have just come to love and just gives me as a builder and someone that spends a lot of time having to problem solve and create unique solutions and workflows, just a lot of flexibility to do whatever I would like with like the information that I have. And so this is a NetSuite to WooCommerce data sync where the customer has a lot of products in NetSuite that they need moved over to WooCommerce. And so we just built out this little flow from them. And so as your basics, we've set up the NetSuite app and connected all of our credentials already. And with that, we pull that data and we got about 4,000 products. From that, we don't need all 4,000 and we only need products with a specific price point. To that, we add this thing called a mapper, and these mappers are awesome. Basically, they're just like action buttons you can throw in your flow and write custom code for, and they basically just format data however you would need from any pass module. And so you create it, you have the action, and then you configure it. So there's only one step above here, but basically you link it to which module you want to pull data from, and then you write your own code for it. And if you don't want to do that, they have this incredible AI feature where you ask it to pull any type of data or information from you, and it does this all for you. So honestly speaking, just had the AI put this all together because it's just like natural language in terms of understanding what I need. I need a specific type of product with a specific type of ID. And then it pulls this together. And from that, we filter down to about 800 products. In that, we need to pull some specifics. And so we add another mapper, which, not mapper, but we have to pull URLs to be able to map future in the automation. And so we have another NetSuite module where we pull the specific image URL for each product. So when we push it to WooCommerce, those products have images to go along with them. With that, there's a lot of formatting for this data because we need to get it just right to be able to upload it to WooCommerce. And so we prepare that and we grab the product categories as well. And so these are just custom mappers that have been set up that just give a lot of functionality to connect the NetSuite WooCommerce application together. From that, we add a simple little loop here, which is just going to iterate through each of the products and do the same set of basically formatting and updating of product information for the NetSuite to WooCommerce data sync. So with that, we only want to grab a smaller batches. We could take all 4,000 and do it all at once, but we don't want to do that. We can run the workflow. We can automatically run multiple times. And so we want to batch it with groups of 100. So in that, what we do is we run this through a little loop. And so we check to see, one, does the product exist already in WooCommerce? We don't need to be creating duplicate products or anything like that. So we just check if it exists. If it does exist, what we do is we check if there needs to be an update to it or an iteration added to it. So basically, we cross-reference the data, and we need to know what type of product it is because there's simple and more complex products that are in this lineup that have multiple IDs that go with each product. Let's say you're selling T-shirts, and so you could have one where it's just you only sell black T-shirts on your website, and so it's just that product, right? But what if you want to have another product that's another t-shirt that has multiple colors, right? That has different patterns on the t-shirt. Well, there's simple products, which is just like the one color lineup, one product, but then there's also variations of a product too, and that's what we're checking for here. So we check to see if the product is simple, and if it is, we just simply update it with a simple if-then statement. And so we just grab some information from step 9 and we cross-reference it to see if within this data packet we have in here to check if it is simple or not. And so what it does is it just cross-reference that, and if we find out that it is simple, then what we do is we just update that product and we move on to the next loop. With that, if it's not simple, what we do is we prepare the prices for it, right? Because there's multiple. In this, there's going to be multiple prices for each variation. So we prepare that and we prepare each of the variation IDs, and then we loop through, and so we iterate through each of those IDs. So we get the product variation, and we prepare that for the update. Once that happens, if the variation exists, then we just cut it there because we don't need to duplicate products. If not, we update the product variation, right? So that just maps between just for products that already exist. If we check back up here, this was an if-then statement. So if the products exist, and so we went down this little branch. But if it doesn't exist, what happens is it shoots right here to where we create the product. And so we map that throughout for the specific IDs and values that is needed. And so we create the product, and then we prepare the prices, and then we create the variations based off that product, right? And from that, we don't want to be duplicating data here. And what we do, and what an awesome feature that MindCloud gives us, is a set memory function, where we can set the memory on the last run. So the next time we run this workflow, the memory kicks in and we start from that point moving forward. A couple cool features to point out here is one that memory. 2 is the mappers. And so if we did want to grab any information, so there's as your standard set of controls, we can have an if-then statement, we can iterate through it. But this mapping functionality is really awesome because we can go here and we can go from like the product search and create that custom code. So what that looks like, if we just ran that straight up, is we would get the records that were involved, right? But let's say we really just want the record type. So I could just come back here into the code and just say like, please give me the record type. And just ask the AI to do that. And basically it just creates the custom code like that. And with it, we only get returned this record type, the exact record type that was in this loop, right? So that would iterate for each loop, and it would get each record type. And that can get increasingly more complex, where you just ask it to pull whatever you need to cross-reference multiple modules. So you can come here in actions, you can do multiple, and then create the custom code based off that. And so that functionality is incredible. And if you want to really see how this works in action, we can just check out the logs. And so this is where you can see the past history. So this has been the past history of the workflow and how it runs. And so it's been running incredibly well. And with that, what we do is we get from save search, right, that memory that's set up. And so we grab that. And then what we do is there's this little slider that walks through, or you can just click on each module. And so we grab the information from step 1. Then we group those items together, right? Because we only wanted specific ones dealing with specific pricing. From that, we grab those image URLs, and then we get the product IDs that we need mapped to WooCommerce. From that, we prepare those categories. So these are the 2 IDs that we needed for that. We prepare those items. And so for this workflow, the data sync is constantly matching if there's been new products added. And so it checks that. And if not, then we are good. And so we've not updated products in a while. But to that, you can check the entire log history of the entire workflow. If anything goes wrong, it'll show the error. You'll be able to click on that. You'll be able to understand and go to the response and see what the error is. And so there's an incredible amount of functionality that you can build out here. And with that, you can build custom apps too. So if, let's say, you have an API integration that is old or is one that is not in Maker Zapier, is something that is custom build, what you can do is you can get with the MindCloud team or build this app yourself, or you can connect that API and create your own apps within MindCloud, which is awesome because no other platform gives you that functionality. And it's really streamlined, it's straightforward, and they're building out a lot of AI integration that helps streamline that process. And so if you're interested in checking out MindCloud, which I definitely recommend, there'll be a little link below this video linking you to a free trial which doesn't expire, which is awesome. So they just give you access to the tool as they're building this out. And so you can mess around with yourself, build out really robust complex workflows, and just gain a better understanding and a better control of the automations that you guys are creating. Well, I hope you take this and I hope you guys go try this out and really play around with that functionality for yourself. Take care.